It is not natural, not biologically natural for a woman to not feel emotional attachment or love or some sort of fluttery emotion about a man that she's sleeping with. Okay? End of story. End of story.
Fellas, through feminism and the sexual revolution, there has been a major push to lie to you about what the woman is. But in order to lie to you about what the woman is, they must lie to the woman first. This represents the snake that whispers into the ears of women, the women who represent Eve, who is easily manipulated by promises of greener pastures, and the men who represent Adam, who is easily manipulated by the woman and his desire to please her. Women are lustful and sexual beings, just like men. And sexually speaking, there are two types of women on this earth. You have the women who are emotionally attached to you after sex, and then you have the women who aren't emotionally attached to you after sex. The chances that the woman with the high body count will be emotionally attached to you after sex is of course greatly diminished, whilst the chances that the woman with the low body count will be emotionally attached to you after sex is of course greatly increased. However, there is a difference between good rod and bad rod. I'll say that again, fellas. There is a difference between good rod and bad rod. The rod can act as the ultimate climax or anti-climax, regardless of the woman's past. The rod can act as the great equalizer, or the rod can act as the great destabilizer. The rod can make up for all other flaws, or be the one flaw that can't be made up for, the flaw that can't be redeemed. Good rod can make a prostitute pair bond, whilst bad rod can make a virgin feel no closer to you. The rod is everything. The bedroom is everything, fellas. The things you do outside of the bedroom is simply just foreplay for the things you do inside of the bedroom. Fellas, I promise you, this is unconsciously how women perceive you. When you are dealing with a woman, you need to introduce her to the rod as soon as possible. The only exceptions for this is if you are genuinely busy or game. So if you have friend-zoned a woman in favor of the long game, delaying the rod in favor of getting to know the woman better is the most frequent and stupidest mistake I see 90% of men do today. I'll say that again. Delaying the rod in favor of getting to know the woman better is the most frequent and stupidest and fantasy-driven mistake I see 90% of men do today. When a man tells me this, I know he is either suffering from ED and he is making a virtue out of a necessity, or he is highly fantasy-driven, or because he's afraid of rejection and is trying to delay rejection or avoid rejection by giving the woman what he perceives the woman wants, not understanding that the woman needs his sexual energy to work with. The woman needs his sexual attention to bounce off of. The woman needs to alchemize his sexual energy. These men have no idea about the time limits of seduction and infatuation. The rod must be received before she fully knows who you are. The rod must be received before she fully knows who you are. They have no idea about how the woman's fantasy works, and they have no idea about what is being communicated to the woman when they do this. You are simply making yourself into a rodless man. And how can a rodless man compete with a man who slangs rod? He can't. A rodless man is a stud, is a lesbian. Nothing is more important than game and rod, because without game, you can't even introduce the good rod that you have or think that you have. And without game, you won't be able to create the right circumstances outside of the bedroom, so that the experiences inside of the bedroom is good enough for her to climax. Fellas, there is an outside of the bedroom equation. that will contribute to the woman's climax, fellas. The woman submits to the animal in you. She doesn't submit to the civilized self. This is where you guys go so wrong. So many of you are trying to make the woman submit to your civilized self. She doesn't submit to the civilized self. She submits to the animal within you. And the way that the woman submits to the animal within you is through good rod. The woman first submits to the animal in you, and then she submits to the civilized self. But she won't submit to the civilized self without first submitting to the animal within you. Fellas, make sure you watch the entirety of this video. We're going to get into this comprehensively.
It is not natural, not biologically natural for a woman to not feel emotional attachment or love or some sort of fluttery emotion about a man that she's sleeping with. If she's able to do any of these things, again, she either doesn't like you or she's like kind of dead inside because of all the things we just described. Now, if a woman like this somehow is saying all this because she thinks this is the cool thing to say, but she's actually not dead inside, right? This whole charade will get dropped the second a guy who comes along that she actually likes. All of this goes to shit.
All right, so just before we proceed, I want to do a quick disclaimer. The reason why I have not done any videos about the rod and the importance of the rod is the same reason why women don't tell you just how incredibly important the rod is. They don't want to demotivate you, and I don't want to demotivate you. There are loads of other ways for you to impact a woman. The best thing about a woman is that she's emotionally driven. So there are loads of ways for you to impact a woman and to make a woman fall in love with you. But the most important way by far is the rod. And as I said, I don't talk about it because I don't want to demotivate you guys. There's so much content out there demotivating you guys. So this is why I don't talk about the rod. And this is also the same reason why women don't talk about the rod. They don't want to demotivate you, right? They want you to continue to pursue them and try with them. And if you guys knew just how important the rod is, those of you with really small willies and those of you with willies that don't work, you will be demotivated if you knew just how important the rod is. The rod provides pleasure and comfort, and the rod will compel the woman to pursue you for your security. But there are many ways for you to satisfy the woman's desire for pleasure and comfort, and there are many ways and techniques to compel the woman to pursue you for your security. It's just that obviously the rod is a tool that you literally have within your pants, and if you know how to use it correctly, then you don't have to Jestermaxx. It's very easy to deal with women when you've got good rod. It's a lot harder to satisfy a woman when you don't have good rod. The woman literally has to go without, so you'll have to compensate for that. You will have to Jestermaxx for that. But even so, if the only thing you have is good rod, the woman will definitely still leave you. Pleasure is not enough to women. Comfort is not enough to women. You still need masculine qualities. You still need a masculine spirit. You need good character. The woman needs to judge you, judge your nervous system, and want to copy and follow your nervous system. Good rod is not enough. It is a tool of pleasure. It provides comfort through emotional regulation. It will compel the woman to pursue you for your security. You give that woman that good rod, the next thing she's thinking about is, how can I tie him down? Game, good rod, and of course, your internal characteristics. The women don't tell you about this because, as I said, they don't want to demotivate the men with small willies and rods that don't work. They still want your attention, they still want your validation, and they still want your security if you can provide this security for them. And the women don't like to tell the men with the good rod as well because they don't like to gas these men up. They don't want these men to think, well, I can do less because I've got good rod, which is true, but they don't want you to think that. Let's get into the video.
When it comes to the intersexual dynamics between man and woman, there is one rule of thumb that you need to understand. Fellas, please fix this into your intellect, all right? And it goes a little something like this. The man is typically crazy before sex, and the woman is typically crazy after sex. I'll say that again. The man is typically crazy before sex, and the woman is typically crazy after sex. And the reason it is like this is because of the dynamics of lust and how lust affects man and woman differently. This is nature's game, and this is how courtship works between human beings. The man will do the majority of his pushing before sex, and the woman will do the majority of her pushing after sex. Please bear in mind that I've drawn this based on the man's perspective. All right, so the man will do the majority of his pushing before sex, and the woman will do the majority of her pushing after sex. Now, the reason why, as a man, you need to have game so you can introduce the rod as early as possible is so you don't Jestermaxx. It's so you don't Jestermaxx, right? Because if you take too long to introduce the rod, you will do too much pushing. You will do too much pushing. But what makes you attractive and seductive to the woman is when you pull away. The woman's desire to push comes after sex. I'll say that again. The woman's desire to push comes after sex. And the only way a man is able to pull away effectively, seductively, and in a way that will compel the woman to push is after she has received the rod. There is a power shift that occurs after you have sex. This is something that I call flipping the script. There is a power dynamic flip after sex. And this power dynamic flip that works in a man's favor only happens after sex. The power dynamic will always work in a woman's favor before sex. This is just the nature of courtship. This is just the nature of the game. This is why I teach you guys to friend zone women, because the only alternative you guys have to not initially walk into a power dynamic that favors the woman is if you friend zone her first. You take away that initial balance of power that works within a woman's favor by friend zoning her in the beginning. There are loads of different circumstances and different reasons why you should actually friend zone women. As I said, this way you don't even have to flip the script. Certain men who are very good looking, certain men who are very tall, certain men with high social status, certain men have things going for them that results in women pushing from the beginning. So they pretty much friend zone women naturally. But this friend zoning mechanism, technique, it can be replicated by anybody. Why? Because it's psychological. Game trumps all because it's psychological. Game is multidimensional. All right. And if you think anything else is more important than the psychology of the woman, you're stupid. If you think anything else is more important than understanding the emotionality of the woman, you're stupid. Game is subjective and it's personal to that woman. Right? Even the men that you see, right, who are able to just attract women without doing anything, you don't know the difficulties that they have. If these men don't have game, if these men don't have character, they're not going to get very far with women. Right? There's a big difference between physical attraction and sexual attraction. Sexual attraction is on a completely different level. Sexual attraction needs to be maintained. Sexual attraction is very, very, very psychological. It's got to do with story, narrative, conflict, tension, the ability to hold tension. There's so many elements to sexual attraction. Sexual attraction is very multidimensional. And this is why game trumps all, because game is multidimensional. You need to be able to hold multiple truths at the same time. Women are fickle and annoying. These guys they'll be dealing with women who are attracted to them and pushing to them 100%. These men are thinking, yeah, lovely, she's going to sleep with me tonight. And when he makes a move, she's like, sorry, what are you doing? No, I think you got it confused. I'm not that easy, all right? Trust me, even men who are 10s, if you don't know how to use plausible deniability, if you do not know how to accommodate space for the woman's civilized self and animal self, you're not going to be able to get far. So game trumps all. The emotional attachment that the woman feels is to compel her to push. When you guys want to get to know the woman, or you want the woman to get to know you before giving her good rod, You are literally extending the period of time that you have to push, and you are extending the period of time that the woman does not have an emotional investment and attachment towards you. 90% of the women you deal with that you have not given rod to yet, that you've not given good rod to yet, they're not even participating. You have been talking to the representative of this woman for 6 months. You have been talking to the representative of this woman for 8 months, fellas. Here you are participating truly, opening your heart, sharing your heart. You've been speaking to a hologram, brothers. Women don't even participate until the rod has been received. She's not even participating, brother. This is why you get ghosted and you're confused. You never met the woman. You never ever met the woman's true authentic self. The woman's true authentic self can only be accessed after receiving the rod. After you've given her the rod, that's when you're introduced to her true romantic self. The woman's been dealing with you for a year with no emotional investment, no emotional attachment. You've been dealing with her representative. And if you've been dealing with a woman for that long, please, fellas, you understand she's getting the rod elsewhere. She's emotionally attached elsewhere. She's emotionally invested elsewhere. She can't be emotionally invested in you until she's received the rod. So the whole idea of delaying the rod, for whatever reason you tell yourself, it doesn't work, fellas. All right? You're going to be pushing the entire way. You've not given the woman a chance to push. Women prefer it when they push. They do. Women only pull away for like safety reasons. Women are so used to being adored. Women prefer to adore, fellas, but you're not giving them any chance to adore you, to push towards you. Women are attracted to you when you're pulling away, when you're busy, when you're focused on other things, when you are locked in. The woman wants to compete with whatever it is you're locked in with. What is it? The gym, your business, your children? The woman wants to compete with all of those things. She wants to push. She wants to defeat those things. She wants to be at the apex of your attention. She wants to push for those things. And she wants to see you pulling away. Think about what I'm saying, fellas. How many times have women said things to you like some type of variation of, how come you're not put, like they want you to pull away. It's seductive. It's sexy to them. They want to use what they got, their seduction tools, their skills, their competencies. They want to use their initiative to win you over, to overcome you. But you're not even giving them any kind of opportunity to do that. You're not creating any circumstances to do that. She's not crazy yet. You need to introduce the rod to her as soon as possible. All right? There's 2 types of games. There is a short game and there is a long game. I always advise you guys to play a long game because women identify high-value men as men who play a long game. Why? Because it shows you've got options, you've got choice, you've got access to other women, you've got other things going on, you live a purposeful, driven, meaningful life. You don't have time to just stop everything you're doing to see her silly self on a Thursday night. Women identify men who play a long game as high value. This is why I always say, friend zone women, fellas. Get yourself women, have access to women, and friend zone the rest. The best outcome you can have. You'll enjoy your life like that. Trust me, because everyone's thinking that you're high value. All right. But if you're going to play a short game, then you need to introduce her to the rod immediately. Immediately. If you've already shown this woman interest, that you like her, that you're interested in her, then you need to provide her with a rod immediately, or she's going to think that you're more focused on relationship building than building yourself. If you're going to do a short-term game, you need to actually do it incredibly short and quick, fellas. You actually do. You need to introduce her to the rod immediately. The woman can't understand that you're interested in her and you actually genuinely like her, right? And there can't be any kind of gap between her feeling that and her feeling the rod. There can't be any type of gap about that. You need to introduce her to the rod immediately. There are women that you smash in the toilets. There are women that you smash behind a building. There are women that you smash in your car. There's women that you meet on the train. If you're on the train and a woman sits next to you to talk to you, you smash her that night. You take her to yours. You take her to hers. If you're available to be able to do stuff like that, you need to. If it's short-term game, you need to introduce the rod immediately. I would advise no dates, no further obstacles and hurdles that is going to reduce the time limit between her infatuation and her receiving the rod. If it's short-term game, introduce the rod immediately. If it's a long-term game, then it's different. All right. But even still so, you need to maintain her infatuation. If it's a long-term game, don't just be chatting to her 24/7, destroying the seduction, destroying the mystery. If it's a long-term game, don't be texting her all the time. Don't be calling her all the time. Let her sit with that infatuation. Let her sit with her imagination. Let her sit with missing pieces of information about who you are. These things are incredibly arousing, incredibly arousing. Let her fall in love with the lack of information she has of you. All right?
When you're dealing with a woman, you got to think of it like cat and mouse, all right? She's the cat and you're the mouse. The woman is infatuated. The woman is a creature of desire. She is a creature of fixation, obsession, limerence. She operates in infatuation. This means that when she's trying to hunt you down, she's hunting you down for information, because information kills infatuation. I'll say that again. Information kills infatuation. Now you might ask me, then why is she trying to kill infatuation? Well, because when she's infatuated with you, she's powerless to you. When she's infatuated with you, she sees you as a 10. She knows she's infatuated and she doesn't want to see you as a 10 forever. The lack of information that she has about you is sending her fantasy wild, is sending her mind wild, is sending her imagination wild. So what she does is she tries to hunt you down for information. This information will kill her infatuation. You guys are the mouse. You don't want her to find this information. When she finds this information, the more information she finds out about you, the more elements of reality she finds out about you. Remember, an ick and a turn off is simply when a woman discovers an aspect of reality that goes against the fantasy. So you're the mouse and you hold the information. The game is you do not want her to discover this information or just information in general. All right. But you're a mouse, right? And you want the woman to continue to try and continue playing with you. So the woman has to always find you fun enough to play with, fun enough to hunt, fun enough to chase down, fun enough to try to want to kill. But you got to be a nimble mouse. A nimble mouse. So for example, with me, I'm Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi of a mouse, right? Trust me, you think you got me corded? I've done a front flip over your head. I done a wall kickoff off your nose, right? You can't catch me. I'm elusive. I am fleeting. Just when you think you have me, you don't have me, darling. Every now and again, I'll play dead and the cat is pouncing. I'm not dead. I've done a cartwheel, evaded it, and I'm off again. And then when I see that I'm demotivating this cat, when I can tell I'm demotivating this cat, and this cat is probably going to go elsewhere soon. I saw the cat looking at some other mouse and thinking, oh, maybe I can catch that mouse. I just want to catch a mouse now. I haven't caught a mouse in so long. I need to catch a mouse to boost my morale. Do you know what I do? I let him catch me. I let him catch me right there. She's so happy. She's so excited about it. So happy she's caught me and stuff like that. And then when she gets distracted, pew, I'm gone again. But now she thinks that she can catch me. She's experienced catching me before. She's caught me 1 or 2 times. Next time, she's going to hold me down. That's you with information, fellas. That's you. That's your unpredictability, your mysteriousness, your inability to be read, inability to be boxed. All right? The interest that the woman is showing in you, right? The investment the woman is showing in you is stalking. It's stalking. And she's stalking you for information. All right? When she grabs this information, her infatuation will be destroyed. When her infatuation is destroyed, the power you have over her will be destroyed. The lust that she has for you will disappear. That's the woman's lust. The woman's desire to hunt. And that's how the woman hunts. She hunts you down for information. She hunts you down for your commitment. She hunts you down by you opening up. She hunts you down by your marriage, by your sexual loyalty. That's what she's hunting. All right? And when we hunt, as I said, our hunt is before the sex. We are hunting you down for the sex. Right? So that's how it works. All right? Before the sex, we're the cat. She's a mouse. Depending how good of a cat you are when you're in your cat mode will depend on how efficient you are when it comes down to being able to introduce the woman to the rod. All right? And then when you have the rod, the dynamics switches. You become the mouse, she becomes the cat. All right? And then from there, it's how elusive you are, how fleeting you are, How can you maintain her attraction? How can you maintain her lust? How can you maintain her fixation, her obsession? Not providing her with the information she seeks. It's just that bloody simple, fellas. You guys need to learn game, right? In order to be able to do that, because you might be thinking to yourself, how does one do that? It's through game. It's through game. It's through you developing social skills, fellas. Social skills. The ability to speak to the woman's ego. Massive. Massive. Right? When you can be in the woman's hubris, when you can be in the woman's ego, when you can leave your thoughts, feelings, motivations, and fears behind, and you can enter into the woman's thoughts, feelings, motivations, and fears, a strange thing happens. You will find so many things to talk about that doesn't involve the sharing of personal information. You'll be able to gas her up, make her feel good, tease her, seduce her, right? You'll be able to make her laugh. You can laugh her into bed. You can give a woman belly laughter every single time you're with her. And then when she leaves, she's like, oh, again, I didn't ask him this question. Oh, again, I don't know nothing about him. I've slept with him 10 times now and I still don't know nothing about him. I still don't know what he does for a living. How does he keep evading those questions? He's so good at what he does. He's so smooth. You're able to be smooth when you can penetrate the woman's mind, when you can leave yourself and you can enter the woman. Astral project. Leave your thoughts, feelings, and motivations behind. That's nothing. All that's going to do is give you inhibition and apprehension and awkwardness and boringness and weirdness. Leave yourself. Enter her. Right? Speak to her ego. Know how to tease her. Know when to speak to her emotions as well. Know when to trigger her. How to trigger her. In fun ways. Trick her. One thing that I do very frequently with women is I trick them. And I put good effort into tricking them, Sometimes I might promise them something, and when I pull up and they're like waiting for it, in a cold way, I'll go and I'll be like, nah, I didn't get it, innit? Like, I couldn't be bothered, innit? Like, get over it. They'll be like, what? Oh, I thought you was bringing the thing in. Nah, I didn't bring it, innit? I didn't bring it, innit? Move forward, G. I didn't get it. Sometimes I just trick them and I get their hopes down and stuff like that. And then they're like, oh, moving forward with their day, trying to get over the fact that I don't give a fuck. And then they'll turn around, boom, it's in my hand. And I've got a big cheesy grin, like, right? Trick them. Trick them. All right? When you're out and about and she's trying to ask you questions about you, people watch. Talk about the people that are around you. People watch. People watch. Don't take women out on dates. Let women follow you on errands. Go about your day. Go about your business. People watch. All right? Don't be, all right? All of these things is not trading information. It's easy to maintain mystery. Easy. Fellas, I've dealt with women for years and I've maintained mystery. I can maintain mystery for a whole lifetime, fellas, honestly. It's a skill. It's a skill. A woman will ask me, okay, so what do you do for a job? I'll be like, I do my best. It's easy. It's easy. Right? It's easy. I'm not going to lie, fellas. I learned how to sidestep women's questions. I learned how to maintain mystery from chilling with drug dealers. Drug dealers are hilarious, man. A drug dealer will deal with a woman for 5 years. That woman don't know nothing about this fella, bruv. This woman thinks that he's a plumber, bruv. Right? I've learned how to maintain mystery by chilling with Nigerian scammers, bruv. These women will deal with these dons for 10 years. They don't even know how old he is, bruv. Amazing. Amazing. You'll be surprised. All right? They're trying to chase you down from information. When they get this information, it will destroy the imagination. In fact, information destroys the imagination. Okay, so let's wrap this video up. Women are emotionally driven and they are fantasy driven. So this means the woman is attracted to whatever arouses her the most. I'll say that again. The woman is attracted to whatever arouses her the most. Women have a relationship with their emotions. They don't have a relationship with their intuition. The woman believes that her emotions are trying to tell her something meaningful and insightful about the world. This is wrong. That's something your intuition does. But because the woman believes her emotions are trying to tell her something meaningful and insightful about her external environment, the woman incorrectly follows her emotions. Right, and what she does is she silences her intuition incorrectly so that she can follow her emotions. Because of this, the woman is attracted to whatever arouses her the most. And when it comes to human beings, if we're simply talking about our emotional arousal, the things that we are afraid of arouses us more than anything else. So the woman is always concentrated on things that are a problem, things that are out of place, and things that are challenging, things that she can't overcome. So the woman will always point her attraction towards things that are presenting itself as a problem. The reason why men who present themselves as the solution, the reason why men who present themselves as everything right, the reason why these men never hold and maintain the woman's attraction is because the woman isn't attracted to solutions, the woman is attracted to problems. Think about how the woman speaks. Think about her desire to just vent and breathe life into a problem. She's not attracted to solutions. She's attracted to things that present itself as a problem. So when a woman is dealing with men in general, she will automatically, any man that is presenting themselves as the solution, she will automatically label these men as safe options and put these men into the back of her psyche so she can use her full capacity to concentrate on the men who are a problem. Being a problem to a woman maintains her attraction towards you. The woman is attracted to things that she can't have and things that she don't have. Things that are out of reach, things that are fleeting, and things that are elusive. If the woman can't predict and read and box something, she will be fixated, obsessed, and attracted by that thing, by those things. All right. And as soon as she solved a problem, she will put that into the back recesses of her mind. She will consider it safe. So this gives her the perfect opportunity to focus at the problems at hand. All right. So that's the secondary component of the woman's attraction. And the woman's primary attraction is her attraction to the taboo, to the things she should not be attracted to. When you lead with your emotions, there is nothing more arousing than things that are problematic. And then there is, on top of that, there is nothing more arousing than things that you should not be attracted to. Things that you're attracted to, but you should not be attracted to. So the women primarily are attracted to the taboo. And as a man, you need to be hitting all of these markers in order to maintain the woman's attraction, in order to maintain the woman's infatuation, in order to maintain the woman's fixation. That's what you guys want. Women don't love in the same ways a man loves. So the thing that you actually want, you want the woman's arousal. You want the woman's fixation. That's where the magic happens. All right. And if you want to have a long-term, successful relationship with a woman, you must first captivate her attention, her arousal, her fixation. You must captivate these things first in order for you to actually cultivate a loving and healthy relationship with the woman. You must first deal with the unhealthy nature of the woman who follows her emotions, not her intuition, the woman who is judgmental, not a creature of discernment. You must first deal with the woman standing in front of you, if that makes sense. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the video up there. Went on a bit longer than I thought. I've missed a lot of points. There's only so many things I can say in the video. I think I've been yapping, to be fair. All right. Please continue to support the channel. You guys are doing everything for me. You guys are inspiring me and giving me the energy and the fuel for me to continue making videos. You guys who are supporting me, I see you, and I'll never forget you guys, what you guys have done for me with your support, with your feedback. I'll never forget it. I know exactly who you guys are. And when this channel blows, when the business blows, oh, I will pay you guys back. I assure you. I know who you guys are. I've got you guys on a piece of paper. All right, guys. Thank you so much again. We'll see you on the next one.